Okay. Um, or is we live? That is the question. Is we live? Or is we live? Is we live? Or is we live? Hey Facebook. Hey YouTube. Facebook, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube. I literally spent all day getting to the point where I could actually do this. I don't know what's going on with my audio on my laptop. OBS sucks. I really just wanted to go live on Naylove because I know Facebook, I know you're not going to know who the hell I'm talking about with half of these people I mentioned. But I do. I'm just going to create the video as a backup because, hey, Nurse Vaughn, because YouTube's so full of shit and it's a damn shame. I'm living testament that I'm having to use Facebook to be a backup for YouTube. Make that make sense. The largest video hosting company has the worst video. I can't get it going. So lucky are you that live in a community that you have clear connection, don't have the connection problems I have. That's another reason why I want to move. I tried to do this thing on my Naylove channel and it ain't working. It ain't working for me. Hey, Nurse Vaughn. So I'm currently on Faster Life TV. Ain't nobody from Naylove gonna know. I mean, you know, I did put a little notification in there to let people know. And I just hope everybody who comes to that video will come over here. Welcome to the chat, Nurse Vaughn. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat, Century. Welcome to the chat, Dickens. I'm getting ready to talk about what I consider is, a deep topic. And it came across because of a fellow YouTuber that I watch and follow was basically subjected to colorism. And then there were other YouTubers that they chimed in this morning, and I got my 2 cents to say about it. Okay. Hey, Keisha. I don't know, it probably won't be no more than YouTube on here on Faster Life TV because the Naylove people, they don't know to just go automatically over to Faster Life TV. I mean, that's where, how it sucks, where it sucks at. And my Faster Life TV people, with the exception of y'all two, don't know who the hell I'm talking about when I start mentioning these people. But I do know you, Nurse Vaughn and Keisha. I know y'all do know these people. Rob happens to be a subscriber of mine on Naylove on YouTube. And a lot of people get us confused in the chats because they be calling me Rob, or they be calling Rob Naylove. So I'm the other Nay. I'm the other Nay that Mona Simone had the nerve to mention in one of her videos. Not that Nay. The other Nay. I'm the other Nay. I'm having a good evening, but honey, I want to get on this colorism thing. I follow a YouTuber called April Walker. I believe y'all know who April Walker is. I pronounce my name the same way Rob, even though everybody see the NA and say nah. Okay, so Facebook, you can dip because, I mean, that's if you want to. But I am going to be talking about colorism and how it's still affecting black people to this day. April Walker is a very quote unquote light skinned black person who could pass for white. You know, I mean, if she really wanted to, she probably could. Nah, she got them roots. She got them nappy roots. Um, and so, you know, there was a, you know, panel of people in a discussion, and somebody called her a wet dog, and it was in an offensive manner. It was intended to be offensive, and then, you know, I heard another, you know, YouTuber chime in with their 2 cents on it. Hey Wayne, how you doing? Chime in with their 2 cents on it, talking about she wouldn't have got mad if if she was raised in the black community being called a wet, smelling like a wet dog or whatever, which is usually a racial slur to white people if you say if they smell like a wet dog. Hey Willie, we're gonna be talking about colorism, Willie, in this one. That's what I put in the title. Um, I got my 2 cents to say about it. I want to tell y'all 2 stories. This is story time. But I wanted to set up the reason why it really chaps my heart. It really aggravates me that here in 2019 that this colorism thing is still an issue. Okay? I won't give you 3 sets of stories, but it came about. Shush Trish, you said I didn't grow up knowing what colorism was. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you my experience with it as a child. I grew up in the well, not completely in the projects, but the first years of my life was in the projects. Dearborn Homes in Chicago. My mother had 7. We was running around wild, and she had bipolar. Eventually, we were rescued from that environment and placed in foster care to our betterment. Thank God. And I had a good foster mother. I can't say that about all my siblings. I have 6 siblings. I'm the oldest of 7. Well, I remember getting beat up and called white girl by other black people. Okay? And it was traumatizing. Okay, because one incident, the girl was so hateful, she stuck gum in my hair. And at that time, you know, my hair ain't that long now, but my hair was about this length. And she stuck gum in my hair. This hateful creature, for whatever reason, I can't tell you why, she was hating on me. But her parents clearly didn't raise her right. And she couldn't think of nothing else better to do with her space and her time but to stick gum in my hair. And I remember that being so traumatic because all they gave that bitch is a suspension out of school, whereas me, I'm dealing with getting gum cut out of my hair. Okay? Colorism is real. And I really, really wish we get that together because that's a self-esteem issue. Every time you make slurs like that, you got a self-esteem issue about being black. Okay? And don't get me wrong, I'm in the same club. I have said colorist things. I have heard plenty of colorist things. But I wanted to tell y'all this story to help you understand why it's important for us to get over it. We really need to get over this colorist thing. My grandmother was white as April Walker. Okay? And if y'all, if y'all follow, YouTube and what they call the black side or the ghetto sector of YouTube, April Walker is one of those members of that section or segment of YouTube. And so am I. And I just happened to wake up in the middle of the night yesterday to pee. Ask April is her channel. Thank you, Nurse Vaughn. So yeah, if you want to check her out, Ask April on YouTube. You know, that's another channel you could check out. Although I only want to promote Nate Love on both of these spaces. Nate Love needs your love. Go subscribe to Nate Love. But since Nate Love is down and out, technical difficulties she cannot overcome, I'm gonna do my thing for now, at least on Fat for Life TV and Nate Love on Facebook. I woke up in the middle of the night and I hear April Walker talking about, you know, how this panel of people was talking, and there was one person that, you know, for lack of a different description, she would be considered my mentor or somebody who discovered me. Her name is S. Hutchison, also known as Shelly. This Shelly person called April Walker a wet dog. It brings up, you know, two issues that I did really experience in my life. Having a best friend that was that light skinned as Shelly, that was so racist. My best friend was so racist, it was sickening. Every other sentence, the black man this, the black man that, the white man this, the white man that. She was more racist than any white person I know. And stop that playing, y'all. Y'all be that them motherfucking so-called woke motherfuckers that be talking about, oh, you can't be racist, you can't be black and racist. Racism means you have to have power and you have to be able to discriminate. Please. I have dealt with and been around some racist black motherfuckers, okay? And I'm dealing with one right now. Very racist. Very racist. In fact, I had printed out the definition. Okay, let me read it to you. Racist. A person who shows or feels discrimination or prejudice against people of other races, or who believes that a particular race is superior to another. The comments have led her to being called a racist. Synonyms, these are other words that mean the same thing. Racial bigot, racialist, xenophobe, chauvinist, etc., etc. You said April Walker is black from New York. As April is one who's been speaking on colorism. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. I wasn't aware that she had been speaking on it. But I did chat with her. I'm glad that I popped up because I woke up in the middle of the night to pee, and she just happened to be on. Hey, Anita. How you doing? I don't know if you ever experienced colorism, but I have. And then when I saw April Walker, and then the feedback, you know, today, that happened last night, but the feedback today when I'm hearing black people talking about they got, you know, you got to prove your black card. The fuck? Why would a light-skinned black person have to prove a black card today? This here is the problem. This here is the problem. You're not going to be able to identify black people all the time just based on how they look. Because even in the heat of Jim Crow and just after slavery, there were lots of white black people. That is, black people with black blood in their veins, but look white. But look white. So you going to start this race war, then what you going to do? How you going to figure out who the real black people are? You ain't going to be able to go by skin color. And it's just ignorant. It's straight up ignorant to be referencing people based on skin color. Now, here's another story I want to tell y'all. My grandmother lived in Chicago, and those of y'all from Chi-Town, not April Walker, April, ask April. I'm sorry, you right, correct me. You're right, not April Walker, but April. Ask April is her channel. Right. I like both of them. But yeah, Ask April is the one that look, you know, she like bright. She could be white. It's a dang on shame that it's still some of you black folk out there that get hung up on that. Who did that to you? That's what I want to know. Who did that to you? My grandmother was just like April Walker. And it was like a double-edged sword. And my grandmother is not mixed. That's what's so fucked up about playing these colorist games. My grandmother was not mixed. Now, her grandmother probably would be considered mixed. Actually, no, because I traced my family history. It's my great-grandmother's mother who would have been the one considered mixed. Okay, if anything. But both my grandmother's parents were black. Yes, in the census, they was listed as, my grandmother was listed as mulatto, and eventually it changed to African American, Negro, and then African American when you look at the census. But she told a poignant story to me that I could see the pain in her eyes when she told me the story. She said she went for a job at Woolworths, and she went to the one in the niggerhood. You know, it was a Woolworths in the part of town where the black folks was at. She going to that store, and they tell her, "Girl, you could pass. Don't apply here." You said Ask April, also called SB Rose. I don't think that's colorism, because he looked like a goddamn roach. But anyway, that's neither here or there. SB do look like a roach. Anyway, I'm just saying, I think it's later for those attacks on skin color. It's just crazy to me. Anyway, my grandmother was dissuaded not to put in an application there at the Woolworths. And so she went downtown to put in her application. She filled it all out. She put in there Negro, and the person threw her application away in her face. In her face. So she said that day she walked out without able to get a job from either person. So she felt left out in a certain sort of discrimination that you won't never understand unless you're one of them white black people. Then when I did my ancestry, tracing my family history, it's a whole branch of my family that dipped off. And they just said, fuck it. They just gonna pass. Really. So it's a whole bunch of black people passing as white right now. So you really don't have to get past this colorist thing. Because and then here in this town that I live in, this town is so goddamn mixed. You got black people with blue eyes, you got black people with blonde curly hair. That's dark skin. You got them all kinds of shapes, shades, and forms. That's mixed, because this is like the mixed mecca. There's a whole bunch of mixed kids here. What you gonna call them? You gonna come up with a new race for them? Huh? What is they called? And then I got to deal with my son every day. Coming home where he's a new Israelite. He all brand new. Now we supposed to be Israelites. If I say black, he get agitated. We ain't black. We ain't black. We need to get off the color thing. I think it's true. And when are we ever going to get to the point where we are human beings instead of colors? Huh? When are we going to get to that? When are we going to get to that? That's an assumption in my opinion. How do we know the person didn't have another reason? You mean a reason to call him a roach? What do you mean, Nurse Bond? You said that's, are you speaking on the situation with my grandmother? I'm not sure. She said she did it in her face. She threw it away. Well, I was a teenager when she told me that story. All I know is that it felt as to her, what I could see the pain in her face is that she was rejected because of Negro. That was it, you know. I'm thinking that she felt qualified, you know, and that, you know, that was the reason why she wasn't hired down there. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know. I can't really say, but I know it was painful to her. That's all I know. It was painful. You know, I cannot speak for her. I can't. She's passed away. She deceased. I would love to ask her that question. Do you really think it was about color? I believe it was. I take her word for it. I don't think she would lie about that, and maybe so. Maybe it could have been some other reason, but you say I blame the so-called conscious black people. No, I don't. I just say we put this emphasis on color and then harm each other within the race. And it's disgusting to me. It's very disgusting to me. I never got beat up considering we had such a racist background as far as a country. I never got beat up by a white person because I'm black. That's what I mean. I was harmed by another black person who was taunting me and calling me white girl. I don't get that because you see my skin. I don't even consider myself a light-skinned black person. I ain't gonna pass. You gonna see me and see me as black. I'm glad I'm in that category that I ain't gonna, you know, and it's bad that I have to say that. I'm glad I'm in that category. They ain't calling me a roach. But I'm also not in that category I could pass for something else other than black. So I was able to be comfortable in my black except for when I was very little. When I was very young, I got beat up by other black people. And they was the ones calling me white girl. It wasn't a white person doing that to me. That was a black person. That's when it's outrageous. You said not me, Roy. You think we should be, not you, I meant we should blame the so-called conscious black people. Well, you know, I think we need to come up with a name that we can all collectively accept all the colors, and it's I would think it's safe to say that even if you white, you could be considered melanated. Okay, because that's a color. And we are all kinds of colors under this sun. You know? And my son is light bright, and his father's chocolate. I wasn't expecting him to be like that. But you know, why is we even doing that? You know, why is we still even doing that in 2019? And to each other. This wasn't a panel of white people calling her a wet dog as an offensive statement. This was a panel of black people calling another black person a wet dog just because her appearance is a light-skinned person. She looked more white than black. She got black features. I wouldn't mistake her. I think I would if I bumped into her just because of my family, because I got the whole rainbow coalition in my family. I got them all the way to light bright, like April, to dark chocolate, Africa chocolate. Yeah, I think we need to stop doing it to each other. I'm saying we need to do it to each other because it ain't never been done to me by a white person. Now, I can tell you I experienced racism. I was chased out of a park by some white kids out of a park. I lived in Midlothian, and the park was in Blue Island. I lived in Robbins, and the park was in Midlothian. And we was chased out of that park. And it was like niggers go home. It was white kids that chased us out that park. That's the one experience I had with racism from the other race. But beat up, that came from black people. Beat up, chastised, called white girl, that came from another black person. And I'd be like, for real? Really? And I was like that at that age. At 8 or 9, I was like that. Like, really? Why are you calling me a white girl? I never could figure it out. I never could figure it out because I'm like, this the color I am. I don't look white to me. Roy, you said Trump has awakened racism, segregation that we thought was long gone. I will agree. I will agree. The fact that he keep holding a hard line and position on the Central Park 5, ooh, that goes a long way toward showing his true colors as far as I'm concerned. And but here's the thing. Are we surprised? I mean, the average person, the average white person harbors his type of mentality. I mean, look at it. He's in office. Why wouldn't they? They free to harbor it. Now, but I'm not, I'm not going to make this thing about Trump either. Trump is hardly the cause. It's always been there. It's always been there. And that's what's going to always taint America until, to me, it's not going to ever change until white people start getting just as outraged when there's a social injustice like the Central Park 5, be just as outraged for 5 innocent black boys going to jail as black people get outraged about a light-skinned white chick on YouTube. Right. Anybody can see that I'm a black person, but I'm telling you my experience as a child, I was beat up and called white girl by another black person. I could never explain that one. I never understood that. I never understood that. Never. Never. It wasn't because I took something of hers or I was, I don't know what I did to set that person off, but that's what they called me, white girl. I don't even consider that I talk so white either. I don't even consider that. But to somebody black, back then in my childhood, they felt a desire to beat me up, call me white girl. So no, I don't get that. I don't get that. And I've never been attacked by a white person like that. We was chased out of a park, but since that chasing out of a park, I've never been attacked verbally, physically, or any kind of way, shape, or form by another white person. Nurse Vaughn, you said you think it was jealousy. That's what my grandmother used to tell me, but I would always say, why would anybody be jealous of me? I would, that's what I would say. I didn't get it. So now, on to the reparations. Here's why I don't think black people deserve reparations at all. At all. And and I heard somebody raise the question, if you was to give reparations, who do you think should get them first? Well, y'all ain't gonna like what I have to say, but the veterans, they should be first on the list. The veterans who fought for this country. Because really, to me, reparations, the people who truly deserve it the most, they're no longer living. They're not still here. It's those slaves who actually went through slavery. It's those people like the Tulsa, Oklahoma people who built themselves up and pulled themselves up by the bootstraps. And it's them very same people why I don't think our people of today deserve reparations. You said, Nurse Vaughn, a lot of people back then and still today believe lighter is better, so a lot of darker blacks were made to feel jealous. Maybe. But why now? Why today? Why would anybody black or dark skin be jealous of an April Walker right now? And then that's the crazy part. The person who said the wet dog offensive so-called statement, she just damn near, I mean, barely darker than April. I mean, that does not, it does not compute. Does not compute. She light skinned too. I mean, if I looked at her, I would call her light skinned. Shelly is light skinned, and that's a light skinned black calling another light skinned black wet dog. I'm just saying, ass April is mixed. But for Shelly to call her a wet dog as an offensive statement, that don't make sense to me. She light skinned too. And that's the crazy part. My light skinned friends, I had a best friend. She was light skinned. She was the most racist. She always made outrageous, racist type of comments like that, and she was light skinned. Her mother damn near was one of them that could pass. Damn near. If you see them, whole family was light skinned. All of them, light brights. But they was the most racist. Always had the most negative racial slurs coming out their mouth of anybody I know. I ain't met no white person that racist. Really? You said that's not right, but I'm hearing several different stories. I don't watch either, so I don't know. Well, I'm not a regular watcher of either, but I just happened to be up last night when I saw it, and I participated in the chat. So from April's own mouth came the fact that Shelly had called her the wet dog. Then this morning when I woke up, VS was talking about it, and Olivia. I didn't get to, play out Olivia's whole chat, but I just happened to catch the part where VS was talking about as April would have to prove her black card. I was like, why a chick gotta prove her black card? That shit just sounds so fucking crazy to me. It was just crazy. That's the kind of stuff to me that makes my brain explode. Why would April have to prove her black card? I believe what she's going through right now is a perfect example why she done had, I'm sure she done had plenty of instances where, she was challenged by her race. VS actually made the statement saying that she could tell she was raised in the white side of her family because the wet dog comment wouldn't have been offensive. She would have been, yeah, bitch, fuck you, bitch, I'm black, I'm just as black as you, woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, not necessarily. I just remember my upbringing. My grandmother wasn't one of those, yeah, bitch, woo, woo, and neither was my mother, I mean, if you was gonna say it, we was bougie in the damn projects. We wasn't one of those. Yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass, woo, 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 woo. And we was taught not, not to think you better than nobody and nobody better than you. Hey, loving my hair. So loving my hair, I'm on this conversation about colorism, and I just told my two stories about, colorism, my own experience getting beat up and called a white girl. I was like, I don't get that because I don't look white. To me, I never thought that I looked white or never wanted to be white. I always liked being exactly who I was. I liked my hair. I liked my complexion. I didn't have a problem with it, but somebody else did. And that damn girl stuck gum in my hair, Like, what the fuck? She stuck gum in my hair, and I just remember her being traumatized that I had to get my hair cut. Yeah, I don't know about y'all, black girls. That's a thing. That's a thing for us. Okay. My hair was getting cut out while this chick, all she got was the suspension. I can't tell you to this day what her problem was. Um, and when I hear the same thing still going on, these are grown ass women. I think that was ignorant to think that BS had the nerve to say that, April need to show her black card. She wouldn't believe her black card. It's just crazy. What would it take? What, she got a barbecue? Like, I don't even get that kind of statement. Um, and that also speaks to, how many people felt like you got to have a thick skin to be here on social media. To me, that's messed up too. Why do you have to have a thick skin to be on social media? That is the problem. Why you can't have a softer skin and ease to back the fuck up? We don't ever push that agenda where you need to back up. You need to reel yourself in and use some self-control and control your goddamn mouth instead of being on here all so harsh and verbally abusive to everyone else and tell them they gotta have a thick skin. I've always felt like, fuck you. Why we don't have the expectation for you to have some self-control and self-respect and not disrespect nobody with your goddamn mouth like that? How about that? Anyway, back to the reparations. Part of the problem that I have with the reparations is like, who you gonna start with? And I feel like even if we were given that, that wouldn't uplift us. You know why? Because look at welfare. Has welfare ever made somebody get up off of welfare? No, it's more people that get on it. It's just many people that's proud to say they welfare 2, 2nd, 3rd generations on it. So getting some type of reparation, I don't believe is a solution. Did those people in Tulsa, Oklahoma have a reparation? No, them motherfuckers pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. They stopped being lazy. Not that they were ever lazy, that's just a stereotype. But they showing the hell wasn't lazy as we are this day and age, where we don't cook nothing, we don't grow nothing, we don't sow nothing, we don't build nothing. We consumers, all consumers, and lazy as fuck. We don't want to read. We damn near don't want to read. We don't want to write. We don't want to write the narratives. We don't want to write the plays. We don't want to write the scripts. So that the narrative is not always one side and the media ain't always one side, that all sides get to be expressed. We don't want to do what it takes for that. And then we think money poured on top of that is going to solve it. If money was solve it, then all the people that's rich now, that's black, they would be solving our problem. I mean, Oprah is the exception as far as billionaire, but how many millionaires, black millionaires we have? And what did we go do? We go put big ass chains on our necks, ride big ass cars. We don't go and buy property and invest or pass it on and teach the next generation. No, so I don't believe we deserve reparations. I believe that we're only going to come up from under our oppression as a direct result of having no other choice but doing that. Real talk. That's what I think. A lot of people, oh my God, Trump is in office, but I think that's what woke people up. Oh my God, Trump is in office. When we get to the point where we don't have no other choice but to have respect for each other, but to depend on each other. When we don't have no other choice, that's when we're going to come up and liberate ourselves. To me, that's what I believe. But look how long it took for slavery to go away. By the time black people get to the point where they realize they have to liberate themselves, self-liberation is the answer to our problem. I don't believe nothing's going to change. The whole Nurse Vaughn, you said this whole colorism mess is being pushed to keep black people fighting. A lot of blacks are waking up. I do realize that. I do realize that. Loving my hair, you said right. I am in a lot of lives, but I stay in the bushes because I was taught if you don't have anything nice to say, keep, baby, keep your mouth closed. Amen. I don't get kicked out of people's chats. I was shocked VS didn't block me out of hers, but I respect people. You're not going to hear nothing disrespectful coming out of my mouth. The best control is self-control. When you control yourself, you change the energy right then and there. You change the energy of your situation by controlling your own self. That's why I was pushing the book, Raising a Thinking Child. By the way, let me pull that out and push that a little bit more. It's a shame, if I was selling ass, they'd be lining up. But I'm trying to push Raising a Thinking Child because a lot of what I'm seeing that's going on wrong in these YouTube streets has to do with the lack of self-control. Very poor self-control. How is it that you got grannies, 50 years old, 40 and 50 years old, Mona Simone's up here, behaving like teenagers? No self-control. Can't nobody control you better than you. And I was trying to promote this book, put Raising a Thinking Child, because really this is what helped my family. It was we black women and black boys had the highest mortality rate in the 80s. It literally was a siege on black boys. Yeah, to terminate y'all. To take y'all straight clean the fuck up off this earth. Ain't no surprise that Central Park 5 happened, because that shit was happening nationwide. Even in Chi-Town. We got Darion Alpert, situations like that, where kids ganged up in mob mentality and beat another boy to death. That wasn't a white man beating you down. That was us beating us. Lack of self-control. This Raising a Thinking Child helped me. It helped me be a critical thinker. So I'm still giving this book away each month. If you're interested in getting this book for free, go and send me an email, put critical thinker in the subject line, and I have a drawing and you can win this book for free. Raising a Thinking Child. This helped me. And I believe it can help the world. I wish that I could, condense it and make a graphic version of it. Maybe one day I'll sit down and do that some kind of way where it could be a game app on the phone. Because we really do need to get these skills of self-control. We are out here grown people buck wild, but then we expecting our children to do other than. When you, as a grown adult, you doing worse. You being childlike. You showing you have no self-control. How that work? And as far as the reparations, I think that all that reparations will do is just like how many people where their parents left them money and the money didn't pass that generation. It didn't go to the next generation because when the money got passed to, they blew that shit before their life was out. Huh? Happens all the time. So I don't think throwing money at the problem, giving reparations is going to solve it. Getting good education will go a long ways towards solving some of the problems that we having. And not depending on somebody else to educate you. You got to be the one educating your kids. Really, truly. We can't leave it up to nobody else. We can't. Anyway, Hello, Leon. Well, Leon, I was just putting my 2 cents in on this colorism stuff that I came across on these YouTube streets. This normally would be a YouTube video, but it turned into a Facebook video. It's actually a Facebook video and a Fast for Life TV video on YouTube. And it's getting dark now. I done lost all my lights. And I ran out of whatever else I'm going to say. So on that note, I'm finna go and chill. I'm getting ready to self-medicate. So if you have a problem with that, this video ain't for you. You might want to move on. And look, y'all, I'm using mint. I'm mixing that with my medicine. Yeah, I'm finna go ahead and call this a night. I thought my posterity would be here by now. I was squeezing this in before. I called myself squeezing it in before he got here, cause he don't like nobody's social media. And I would have had to wait till he leave just to get this out my brain. So that's my 2 cents. I don't think black people deserve reparations. What black people deserve is quality education, and if we put that in place, I think that will go a long way towards self-sufficiency. We won't need a handout. We won't need somebody telling us what we need. You feel me? I think so. I think our problem is we are consumers and we're not enough producers, and we're not encouraging our kids to be producers. We encourage them to be consumers. So I don't think reparations is the answer either. It ain't. It ain't. We not saying our past, our history is full of black people who made and rose above the adversity in the heat, in the midst of Jim Crow laws. We just need to get back to believing in ourselves and believing in ourselves that we can do it. Anyway, on that note, yes, I'm getting up out this video. Peace and love. I'll see you again in the next video.